NBC Sports proudly presents exclusive coverage of the national championship game of the Bowl Championship Series.
In its existence, the Bowl Championship Series has never failed to deliver an undisputed national champion. But no season has been quite like this one, with USC already staking its claim to a share.
I think we just won the national championship.
And now, every team except two have been measured this bowl season. Oklahoma and LSU move center stage, determined to state their case for a championship. And throughout the season, the Oklahoma Sooners pillaged all comers. They scored more than 50 points in 7 games, and they were favorably compared with the greatest of all time. But then came the Big 12 championship game. Kansas State exploded the myth. For an entire month, Heisman-winning quarterback Jason White has lived with this bitter taste.
That feeling was horrible. We don't want it happening again. It's do or die for us.
The LSU Tigers storm into New Orleans, riding a 7-game winning streak. The Tigers dominated Georgia in the SEC championship game with big plays and a smash-mouth defense. Coach Nick Saban built this powerhouse around speed and a relentless bump-and-run blitzkrieg.
We don't play DB like this. We don't play bump and run like this. You got to have balance and body control.
Every game played, every inch of turf battled for has led to this showdown between Oklahoma and LSU for the BCS National Championship. You are looking live at the Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans for the final college football game of the season. Oklahoma's great fans long ago exhausted their supply of 37,000 tickets. Now, LSU fans, now, they didn't have far to drive. Their campus in Baton Rouge, only 90 miles away, as we welcome you to the Nokia Sugar Bowl, the BCS National Championship game between Oklahoma and LSU. Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Brett Musburger. You know, when the season began, we all thought this game would be the end of the argument. Now we know it's just the beginning. USC has already claimed its share of the championship, and well they should, the way they played in the Rose Bowl. But make no mistake about this, Oklahoma and LSU earned the right to state their case here tonight. And when it is over, one of them will hoist the crystal football and declare that they too are national champions. So who's right? We'll let you decide. We're just happy to have you along with us for what we think is going to be a very fierce and intense Nokia Sugar Bowl. We're also very happy to have along with us our trio. They have traveled from Pasadena: John Saunders, Terry Bowden, and Craig James. Take it away, John.
Brent, thanks a lot. Welcome to the Built for Tough pregame report. If you look at the final standings in the BCS, Oklahoma 1, LSU 2, USC is 3. And if saw the Trojans dismantle Michigan in the Rose Bowl, we all know 3 teams deserve to be in this game. But 3 doesn't go into 2. So if crown a national champion tonight, it'll be a split. Now, you've played in the Super Bowl in this building. Was it like this?
Well, it was pretty intense on that sidelines,
Yes, it was.
I mean, it is, and the passion and the bands and everything else. It's very loud in this domed stadium. Bob Stoops has never coached an OU football team in a domed stadium. LSU just played less than a month ago in Atlanta in a domed stadium. And why am I saying that? You have to adjust your senses when you're inside. It's louder, it's compressed, it's on top of you. Blitzing will be a big part of this football game, and if your timing is off offensively, you're in trouble.
And remember, you win championships with defense. These are the best 2 defenses in the land. Oklahoma, the #1 total defense. LSU, the #1 scoring defense.
Each of the top 3 teams have 1 loss, but Oklahoma's loss came on the final day of the regular season in their postseason against Kansas State. So everyone says, should they be here? Oklahoma says, we apologize to no one.
We won 12 games. You know, we lost to a top-ranked opponent, and we really don't care what anyone else thinks.
Why shouldn't we be in the Sugar Bowl? Our strength of schedule, out of this world. We're unstoppable. We had a bad game, and we're going to make up for it.
Guys, what the BCS has done is now it's not as important where you lose your game. You can lose it on the final if you've had a great season.
Absolutely, John, that's a great point. It doesn't matter. You know, Oklahoma deserves to be here. This is a football team that scored over 50 points 7 different times this year. Plus, they carried around that number 1 on their chest all year. That's a tough burden when you're playing in the Big 12, and they survived. You can't penalize the football team because they lost to a quality team at the end of the year in the 13th game.
Yeah, and every school in the country agreed before the season to abide by the bowl championship series. In the final rankings, it was Oklahoma that was number 1. You can't change the rules in the middle of the game.
No.
Everybody knows about Oklahoma quarterback Jason White. He won the Heisman Trophy coming back from 2 knee surgeries. It taught him to stay in the pocket. Well, Matt Mock, quarterback of LSU, has a similar story.
Probably the best thing could happen to me as a player was probably at the time when I thought the worst thing. You know, I got hurt in the Florida game. I tore some ligaments in my foot, so it really hurt my mobility, and just kind of had to sit in the pocket and was forced to become a better passer and read defenses better. And, really, I think it's really helped me and helped our team out.
Matt Mock may prove the X factor in this game.
He did. He threw 28 touchdown passes, a new LSU record.
Well, you know what? Hey, is there a quarterback jinx on the Heisman guys? The last 2 Heisman quarterbacks have lost in their title games. We'll find out.
If this doesn't tell you that LSU football is big, our next guest will.
The Built Ford Tough pregame report brought to you by the next Ford F-150. Only this truck earned the right to be the 2004 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. The next F-150, Built Ford Tough.
Not long ago, Gary Doyle sat right here and got a range of auto insurance quotes. From a discount place to Allstate. This is a commercial. You could probably guess the outcome. Allstate had the best price for Gary. In fact, nearly 7 out of 10 drivers who switched to Allstate saved an average of $200 a year. Quality auto insurance should be affordable. That's Allstate's stand. Are you in good hands?
What the deal, Chief? College football needs you. Word is somebody got their eye on that ADP National Championship trophy. What piece? Terry Bowser. He ain't never played this big game. A bitter pro who never got to go. Who else you got, partner? TCU Hornfrog, Phil's rival. Chief. I got my hands full. But no, it's the cold, my dizzle. Well, that's all you had to say.
Vote at NokiaUltimateBling.com for a chance to win 100 G's.
2 lattes.
This is like the 4th coffee corner's opened in this neighborhood in the last few months.
It's the hottest thing going.
Yeah.
I just bought some of their stock. I think you should buy some. This thing is going to take off.
Well, this double mocha coconut latte is tasty.
Frothy.
This is where we come in. At Charles Schwab, we understand popular companies don't always make profitable investments. We'll help you develop a disciplined investment strategy that goes beyond chasing hot stocks. Call 1-800-7-SCHWAB.
On A New Hope and Faith, when a family wedding starts going downhill, wait till you see Faith's plan to save the ceremony. Then an unsuspecting Bonnie fights for a friend.
It's pretend, right?
No, it's a sword-swinging thriller on A New Life with Bonnie. Part of an all-new TGIF, ABC Friday.
Hit the post! He shoots! Score! NHL on ABC, music to my ears.
The NHL on ABC returns Saturday. Interact live with today's game by logging on to Enhanced TV now at ESPN.com.
Bourbon Street in the Big Easy, known for food, fun, and sometimes some shady politics. Take you back to the time when Blaze Starr, the exotic dancer, was involved with the governor back in the 50s or the 60s. But it all takes a backseat to LSU football. And few people know more about politics or LSU football than James Carville.
This is Carville, Louisiana. Carville has one stop sign and one topic of conversation, LSU football. It was like that when I was a kid. It's like that today, and it'll be like that 50 years from now. So you'd be coming in, and the first thing you would see rising out of the ground between Carville and Baton Rouge was Tiger Stadium. No one ever thinks of going to college anywhere else. I mean, it's just not even a decision. You know, the last time LSU won a national championship This is a new car, and I hadn't yet got a driver's license. These are the seats I sat in 1958 when LSU won its last national championship. And you know what? 45 years from now, there'll be a car bell in these seats. Most of you are watching a football game. And some of us, like myself and my family and my friends in Louisiana, are watching a way of life.
Joined now by James Carville. I have to ask an easy question. What's more exciting, a night like tonight or a presidential election?
This is the most exciting thing I've ever been in my life. When that LSU band came on the field, I've been to Super Bowls, World Series, Kentucky Derbies, championship fights, nothing. The intensity and emotion in this arena is like nothing I've ever seen.
I know how the politics goes in your family, so is Mary pulling for Oklahoma?
Mary is at a Bush Cheney fundraiser being hosted by Steve Largent and J.C. Watts, and she's wearing purple and gold. Different politics, one football team. The Fighting Tigers.
I know you got the Tigers. Who you got?
I can't believe you're riding in a red car out there. What were you doing in that red convertible, my friend? I like LSU. LSU here at home feels like a home game for them. Dome factor, and plus I'm sitting next to Mr. Carville.
I don't know about Mr. Carville.
I like Oklahoma. I think with that humiliating loss, they need to win. They don't want to win. They need to win.
The bounce back factor coming up in the Nokia Sugar Bowl.
The Built Ford Tough pregame report, brought to you by the next Ford F-150. Only this truck earned the right to be the 2004 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. The next F-150, Built Ford Tough. Now let's join Scott Van Pelt in the French Quarter for the Ford F-150 giveaway.
Hello and welcome to the Big Easy. These lucky fans selected at random after correctly identifying the Built Ford Tough play of the game in the first 3 BCS contests. One of them wins a Ford F-150 for life. Marty Collins of Ford joins me now. Marty, that's quite a prize.
Well, Scott, it's America's best-selling truck, and now it's Motor Trend's 2004 Truck of the Year.
We'll find out who the winner is in just 60 seconds.
The new Ford F-150 has the strongest, toughest frame, the highest payload capacity, the most towing strength, and the quietest interior. So what do you give the truck that has everything? The 2004 Motor Trend Truck of the Year Award. Only this truck earned the right to be the next F-150. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
This chair doesn't look frightening. It's just oak, glue, and nails. But if you ever find yourself in it, it can be the scariest place on the planet. It's the defendant's chair, and Allstate knows how intimidating it can feel. If you're an Allstate customer and you're sued over an accident, they'll send a lawyer to defend you. You should never be alone. That's Allstate's stand. Are you in good hands?
We're back to see who has earned the right to a new Ford F-150 for life. Fellas, time to go ahead and get your keys. Now, the colors of the beads match the F-150s, but only one is actually going to start. Time to get to your trucks. All right, gentlemen, turn your keys. We have our winner.
Congratulations, you're a Ford truck man for the rest of your life.
That's going to do it from the French Quarter. We get you back now to the Built Ford Tough pregame show.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet tonight's Nokia starting offensive lineups. Introducing the SEC champion LSU Tigers. At tackle, from West Monroe, Louisiana, number 76, Andrew Whitworth. At guard, from Lake Charles, Louisiana, number 71, Nate Livings. At center, from Hemp Hill, Texas, number 55, Ben Wilkerson. At guard, from Waveland, Mississippi, number 72, Stephen Peterman. At tackle, from West Monroe, Louisiana, number 60, Rodney Reed. At tight end from Monroe, Louisiana, number 47, Eric Edwards. At wide receiver from West Wego, Louisiana, number 5, Skylar Green. At wide receiver from Opelousas, Louisiana, number 9, Devery Henderson. At wide receiver from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, number 14, Michael Clayton. And running back from Lake Charles, Louisiana, number 25, Justin Vincent. At quarterback from Jasper, Indiana, number 18, Matt Mount. Head coach Nick Saban and the number 2 BCS ranked LSU Tigers. Let's go to Lynn Swan with Coach Saban.
Coach Saban, this is the first time as the head coach of the LSU Tigers that you're coaching in a national championship game. You probably know guys who have been in your shoes before. What's the advice they gave you about this game?
Well, I think that the most important thing for us is that we play with our identity as a football team, with the character and attitude that we played with all year. It's difficult in a situation like this, but we got a good football team, and that's how we want to play.
Good luck to you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Britt?
Introducing the Oklahoma Sooners offense. At tackle from Weatherford, Oklahoma, number 60, Wes Sims. At guard from Beaumont, Texas, number 70, Kelvin Shishan. At center from Waco, Texas, number 50, Vince Carter. At guard from Hallandale, Florida, number 77, Davin Joseph. At tackle from Lawton, Oklahoma, number 55, Jamal Brown. At tight end from Weatherford, Oklahoma, number 86, Lance Donley. At wide receiver from Arlington, Texas, number 9, Mark Clayton. At wide receiver from Humble, Texas, number 29, Will Peoples. At wide receiver from Texarkana, Texas, number 81, Brandon Jones. At H-back from Midwest City, Oklahoma, number 38, J.D. Ronalds. And running back from Tulsa, Oklahoma, number 47, Ronaldo Works. At quarterback from Tuttle, Oklahoma, number 18, Jason White. Head coach Bob Stoops and the number 1 BCS ranked Oklahoma Sooners. Let's go to Jack Arute.
Well, Coach, this is the first bowl game as a head coach that you had to coach the secondary to prepare as well. How busy was that?
It's a little bit busy, but, Jack, that's all right. We're excited to come play now. Let's go.
Good luck, Coach.
All right, thanks. Ladies and gentlemen,
please stand for a moment of silence as we pray for our servicemen and women overseas and hope for peace across our land and throughout the world. Thank you. Now please join multi-platinum Columbia recording artist Jessica Simpson in the singing of our national anthem.
Job well done, and I welcome my partner Gary Daniels. So Gary, first of all, Happy New Year.
Same to you, Brent.
Now, the BCS championship game, we were there when the trouble started. Right. When Oklahoma lost big to Kansas State. Any lingering after effects here?
Well, we'll have to see, Brent. I mean, just imagine. I mean, these Oklahoma players aren't machines. They've been through a lot here. For most of this season, they were being compared to history. Now, if they win this football game, there's a team out west that doesn't even think they deserve half the championship. That's a lot to deal with. I thought in that football game, for the first time I've seen them in a couple of years, they lost their swagger. And I don't care about X's and O's. I don't care about blitz packages or how you throw the ball. You can't win a big game like this against a great team like at LSU if you don't have your swagger. They must get that back to win.
Well, I remember what Gary said that night, that Bill Snyder and K-State had given the prescription for beating Oklahoma. Will Nick Saban follow that game plan?
I don't think he will. I'm surprised. I thought the blueprint was rush 4, play a deep zone, and make everything happen in front of you. And LSU is capable of doing that. They got a very talented front 4. But what got LSU here, and they got better all year, was doing what they do best. They got great corners. They pressure the quarterback. It's going to be an NFL style, attack the quarterback, and that's what Nick Saban believes he can win with. It's been getting better all year.
Right, and of course we're playing on an artificial surface. A fast field tonight. Let's go down in the middle of the field in the coin toss.
Oklahoma's a home team.
Michael number 14. Rodney Reed, number 60. Number 93, Chad Lutton, captain for LSU.
OU, you have won the toss.
Oklahoma.
Rude. What goal you want to defend? Over here.
Derek Street, running back for Oklahoma, one of the captains. Number 11, Teddy Lehman, one of the center captains.
This BCS championship game. Let's go down to Jackaroo.
Let's go!
Well, Brent, you know Nick Saban leaves nothing to chance. In fact, he is a stickler for detail. So a couple of days ago, while cruising the internet, what did his staff find on the OU official website? But championship materials, hats, t-shirts, caps. So Nick Saban demanded that they download those offers, and he put them in his locker room. They're prominently posted and bulletin board material. Let's check in with the fourth member of our team tonight, Lynn Swan.
Thank you very much. very much, Jack. As you point out, very often little things can make big occasions unbelievably fantastic. And what's going to happen here in special teams, I believe, is that Antonio Perkins for Oklahoma is going to be a catalyst for this football team. He's unbelievable. He's an All-American returning punch. He returned 3 in one game against UCLA. He's an All-American. But LSU has Skylar Green, number 5. He, too, is an All-American. He's returned 2 for touchdowns this year. He's averaging over about 20 yards per return. But Oklahoma's punt team has held all their opponents to 3.5 yards per return, Brent. Something's got to give here.
Exactly. As we take a look at Bob Stoops, the 5th season in Norman, Oklahoma. 55-10. 1 national title and 2 Big 12 titles already. He's been to 5 bowls, and he is 3-1. Matching wits with one of the best, Nick Saban, in his 4th year at LSU. He's out of Fairmont, West Virginia, and he's one of the hottest names you hear with regard to perhaps moving on to the NFL. We'll develop that story as the evening proceeds. Now, Oklahoma won the coin toss, as you saw, and that means LSU will go on the attack first. Trey DiCarlo with the ball on this new artificial surface. Skylar Green with all that speed and more speed. Devery Henderson into the end zone. Thought about it, takes a knee, and it'll come out on the 20-yard line. So here is Matt Mock, number 1 in the SEC in pass efficiency rating. And what an interesting story. 24 years old. You see his football numbers there. But folks, this young man was in the Chicago Cubs organization for 3 years before deciding to come back to college. He has passed his exams to go to dental school. He has a choice to make. There will be 3 factors. Does he come back and play next year for Nick Saban? Does he take a shot at the NFL, or does he just move on to dental school? We'll develop that story. First down play. Vincent, the freshman, breaks free in the secondary. Foot race. He can go the distance. Straight trips him up. At the 19-yard line, Derek Strait trips up freshman sensation Justin Vincent, who has reeled off 3 straight 100-yard games for the Tigers and just electrified this crowd.
Oklahoma comes out and blitzes on the first play. Safety blitz. When you get through the first level of linebackers, you have no safety help. Oklahoma, remember, Brent Venables is calling the new defenses. Takes their safety out of the middle and attacks, and they get burned.
After the long run, Joseph Adai checks in. So a 64-yard run to start the game. Adai behind the H-back tries to get to the corner, jumps over 1 defender, and is out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Now the Nokia starting lineup for this OU defense, stunned on the first play from scrimmage. That front, one of the best, featuring Tommy Harris. Teddy Lehman, the all-world linebacker, outrun when Vincent broke into the free. And there on the right is senior Derek Strait, number 2, who just tripped up Vincent as he was headed for the end zone. Lehman now on the Sooners trying to regroup.
Oklahoma's in with their nickel, 5 DBs.
First pass to Clayton, and he's just shy of the 10-yard line. Derek Strait, number 2. Strait, of course, won the Thorpe Award as the top defensive back in college football, but he was also voted the winner of the Nagurski as the best overall defensive player in the nation. And he showed you a bit of his stuff with that tackle of Eddie Vincent, who was headed for the end zone that time. Here comes 3rd down. And Shelby checks into that defensive package. Yeah, Brandon Shelby, an extra defensive back here.
That's 6 of them on this field right now against 4 wide receivers for LSU.
Mock back in the shotgun. Low snap, picks it up, fires, complete. Clayton's got it inside the 5 and battles his way inside the 3. That is a 1st and goal, but hold on. There is a penalty flag thrown back the 21-yard line.
An unbelievable catch by Matt Mock. His baseball skills came through, as you see, roughing the passer after he let it go. This was like a knuckleball. He makes the stop, and he throws the guy out at second base. That's where those athletic skills come through. What a play. Catch it, grab it, refocus, and he gets hit with the elbow right in the face. That's a wonderful call. What a play by Matt Mock.
And he put the ball in the hands of one of the strongest wide receivers in the SEC, Michael Clayton, who just battled his way to the 2-yard line where it'll be 1st and goal. And the jumbo set will now come in as Clayton goes to the sideline.
I really think Oklahoma's corners lost their focus when they saw the ball drop on the ground.
Justin Vincent in behind 2 lead blockers. Mock goes down again. Bobbled the snap from Wilkerson.
I don't know if he got this one.
And it's turned over inside the 5-yard line. Oklahoma has the football. Derek Strait recovered it. First he saves the touchdown with the tackle, then he recovers this fumble.
Bad center exchange. A quarterback in goal line offense must be very careful with the center. The center reach blocks, and a lot of times their butt turns a lot and you don't get the snap.
We'll take a break. Oklahoma has the ball inside the 5. Timeout.
What the deal, Chief? College football needs you. Word is somebody got their eye on that ADP National Championship trophy. What piece? Terry Bowden. He ain't never played this big game. A bitter pro who never got to go. Who else you got, partner? TCU Hornfrog. Feels right. Chief, I got my hands full. What's new? It's the cold, my dizzle. Well, that's all you had to say.
Vote at NokiaUltimateBling.com for a chance to win 100 Gs.
We have so many stories in the archives. If you know what's worked in the past, there's no question about what you should be doing in the present and in the future. Every time new technology has emerged, the result of it has been to make banking easier for you and me. And we built the first computer used in banking. But before we could do that, we had to have a machine-readable numbering system. So we invented those little numbers. Because we had all of that in place, we could launch the first nationally accepted credit card, which changed the nature of money for people. I'm Kathleen Collins, and I'm the corporate archivist for Bank of America. Our Texas banks were the very first to develop financial products that could enable oil exploration. We had a hand in building the first bridge across the Mississippi River, even in the building of the Golden Gate Bridge. Well, other bankers said it was financial suicide. We wouldn't have this bridge if it weren't for the bank. It's a very noble history, and I'm proud to be part of Bank of America.
Bank of America. Higher standards.
Hey, that thing got a Hemi? You're about to find out. Excuse me. Can I have my order, please?
Dodge Ram with the legendary Hemi. Loved by those who have one, dreamt about by those who don't.
Sweet.
Well, my favorite notes in the world are din-in-it, din-in-it. It means I'm watching ESPN again and again.
Ben Wilkerson sitting there. That was his 872nd snap of the season, only 8 of them bad. After it occurred, both coach and quarterback went over to pick him up with encouragement. There were no harsh words exchanged after the bad center quarterback exchange. Gary, you had a reason for why it happened.
Yes, it was a reach block by the center, and that is really on the quarterback. He must really stay with the center and ride, especially in goal line, especially on first down. You just can't have that happen on first down.
Our first look at Jason White since he picked up the Heisman Trophy in New York. The toss play to Jones, who tries to get the corner against this fast defense, and Jack Hunt, the senior, comes up on him. So many of you know the story of Jason White. You read about him, you saw him, his very gracious acceptance speech, only the 4th Sooner to win the Heisman. He is a senior, but he can come back next year. He was granted an extra year of eligibility, and everyone around Soonerland expects that he will be back. Now, after Kewan Jones started the game, Ronaldo Works checks in. Jones was a situation starter simply because they were backed up, and they wanted to see if he could get the corner like he did against Kansas State. He did not. Second down, and from the end zone, White moving the pocket. Now comes far to double coverage, thrown, juggled, intercepted by Webster. Webster at the 40-yard line. Corey Webster still going down to the 31-yard line. One of the best defensive backs in college football. Picks it off, and now it is a turnover apiece. And as Gary Danielson predicted, this will be a fierce defensive war all the way.
Bump and run coverage. Oklahoma goes after the bump and one with the double cut. Watches out and up. But the great technique by Webster, and then this ball is just thrown for anybody to get it. Remember, Corey Webster, number 13, the All-American defensive back, was recruited as a wide receiver and actually played one whole year here at wide receiver. He's very comfortable with the football in the air.
He is a tall corner. Both of Nick Saban's corners are tall, and Bob Stoops and his staff have had to adjust. And breaking offside is Oklahoma, I believe, on this play.
Fumble the ball.
There's a fumble, however, and it goes to Oklahoma. If they weren't offside, the linesman threw the flag. It was recovered by Dante Nicholson. There was no question, I thought, from up here that they were offside.
Cody right here. Yep, clearly. Came right across. Whitworth had no chance to block Cody, but then another fumble, ball on the ground. You can feel the bigness of this football game. Mistakes, self-inflicted wounds already. Jason White shouldn't have thrown the ball up. The double cut wasn't there. Should have thrown it away on second down. The fumbled snap, and now another one right here.
David Jones checks in with the play. Tom Adnock has got the formation from the sideline. 1st and 5 after the offside penalty on Dan Cody. Vincent on a play fake. Mock stands at the 35. He was an excellent runner a couple years ago. On the move, throws in zone, incomplete. And he too fired into coverage down there, looking for Clayton. And Greenwood Henderson was behind him. So the Oklahoma Sooners and the LSU Tigers in the Nokia Sugar Bowl, playing for the BCS National Championship tonight in New Orleans, Louisiana. And we figured it would be defense, and so far this game has featured a turnover apiece. But again, LSU with superb field position. And Vincent already with a 64-yard bolt for the offense. He's standing back at the 35-yard line on this 2nd down and 5 after the incompletion. Let's see if they come back with the freshman. They do. Tries to cut to the left, breaks the first tackle and crosses the 25-yard line. Everidge could not wrap him up, but Teddy Lehman does as we check it down below with Jackaroo.
Well, Brent, when Nick Saban first got to LSU, Corey Webster wasn't even in the potential recruiting class. In fact, it was Nick who gathered the coaches, the new staff together, and said, I want to see all of the available players. I want a new list. When he got that list together, there's where Corey Webster's name appeared. It's a good thing that he asked for a recall.
All right, Jack, and Skylar Green has just checked in from LSU. He's out to the right. It's the 3-pack. It's Clayton, it's Henderson, it's Green for Mount. And he'll call a timeout after looking at that defense. The linebackers had dropped way back into looked like a zone, and Mount called timeout.
I said, Joe, think of the family. It's comfortable. It's not too big, not too small. It's got a DVD. End of discussion.
I said, Liz, we need a man's SUV. I mean, this thing tows like a son of a gun, and it's got a Hemi. Done deal.
The all-new Durango. Big size, smooth ride, Hemi power.
And Joe completely understood.
Liz finally saw it my way. Soda?
The all-new Dodge Durango, starting under $26,600.
Room service. Your grape nuts, sir.
It'd take 4 bowls of grape nuts to get the B vitamins in just 1 bowl of total.
That's a manly breakfast. Your raisin bran.
10 bowls to equal the zinc in total.
I'll keep the gym open. Your special K, Miss.
40 bowls to equal the calcium in total.
Late checkout this morning?
You need Total. It's got a 100% daily value of 12 vitamins and minerals. No other leading cereal comes close.
Pull a Total,
I'll take Total.
Kitchen's just closed.
Total Raisin Bran. 1 bowl, 100%.
Hey, Racer. Fancy new boots.
Gracias. I just buy them on my new credit card. It has this amazing low rate.
Really? But does that rate stay low like my Capital One No Hassle card? Yeah.
It stays low? What is going to happen to my rate?
Get the Capital One No Hassle card with a rate that starts low and stays low. Capital One.
What's in your wallet?
The
Nokia Sugar Bowl. This ABC Sports exclusive presentation brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. Whodunit? Watch Nokia and Snoop Dogg during halftime. FedEx, proud sponsor of the Bowl Championship Series. And Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns.
Corey Webster, 14 career interceptions. He too will have a choice to make as to whether or not he decides to leave Baton Rouge early and go to the NFL or stick around for another season. Green in motion's got great speed, looking for the corner, got the first down, got it turned. Here he comes, the track man zips to the end zone for the game's first touchdown. 24 yards for Skylar Green.
Run the sweep. Watch this block by Joseph Adai right here, right on the outside. He gets the outside hip, outside leg. Michael Clayton downfield blocking, the All-American wide receiver. He gets his block and he sprint into the end zone. Big plays.
Ryan Godet will kick tonight. He makes the extra point. It's 7-0.
TCU Horned Frog. Who put you up to snatch the ADT trophy? Can you hear what I'm saying? Matter of fact, what you listening to? See what the frog listening to. What kind of man would hide behind a frog anyway? Johnny?
Frog is mine, dog.
Vote at NokiaUltimateBling.com for a chance to win 100 G's.
2 lattes.
This is like the 4th coffee corners open in this neighborhood in the last few months.
It's the hottest thing going.
Yeah.
I just bought some of their stock. I think you should buy some. This thing is going to take off.
Well, this double mocha coconut latte is tasty.
Frothy.
This is where we come in. At Charles Schwab, we understand popular companies don't always make profitable investments. We'll help you develop a disciplined investment strategy that goes beyond chasing hot stocks. Call 1-800-7-SCHWAB.
Enjoy your new Durango.
Look, it's got a DVD. And see how smooth the ride is for you and Fluffy?
Liz, what are you doing to him?
I'm just showing little Joey the new Durango.
Son, there's only one thing you need to know. Hemi. Can you say Hemi?
Hemi.
That's my boy.
The all-new Dodge Durango. Big size, smooth ride, Hemi power. Starting under $26,600.
Leon! Yeah, what's up? Need some quick offense. You're going in. Ooh, I don't know about that, Coach. I think I can do more for this team right here on the sideline. What? Yeah, man, this game's a lost cause.
Lost cause.
So check it. I got this great seat over here on the bench, and I figure I can sit on down, let the camera focus in on me. See the pain and anguish all over my face. Watching a great athlete suffer is very powerful, emotional stuff.
Go sit down, Leon.
Won't let you down, Coach. Hey, yo, Money, what lens you got on me?
This is the Nokia Sugar Bowl.
Skylar Green's 25-yard touchdown puts LSU ahead in this BCS championship game. There are 6 freshmen on this kickoff team, including Chris Jackson, who was a quarterback right here at New Orleans High School. He is the long leg, doesn't get it up quite as quickly as Ryan Godet does. So before the game, Nick Saban had both of them kicking. He's concerned because they had trouble in the SEC championship game. So Godet takes over tonight. High, deep, and on into the end zone. Oklahoma will take a knee. Well, ABC Tuesday, What's Up with Rory? It's a coming-of-age episode you can't miss. And all new 8 Simple Rules, 8, 7 Central, ABC Tuesday. Gary, let me ask you this. Could Oklahoma be shell-shocked by this early start? And again, they're giving up the big play like they did against K-State.
We've done them for 2 straight years. I've never seen them all year before Kansas State. The longest play they gave up was 42 yards. Now multiple big plays. That means players are trying to do too much. They're getting outside the defense.
Jones is the running back, off to the quarterback's right. with 3 wideouts. Jason White goes down the sideline. Clayton juggles incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10. And how quickly the safeties are reacting for LSU to double up on that side as we take a look now at the Nokia defensive lineup for LSU. Spears, Lavallee gets all the pub, but Marquise Hill, he play a little football too. And the linebackers, Eric Alexander, wants a safety. Moves in there to give him great speed at that will linebacker spot. Randall Gay, a senior, he's the nickel back. LaRon Landry, the leading tackler with this team. You've already met Mr. Corey Webster, who has an interception here tonight. 2nd down and 10 for Jason White, who seems to be flinging the ball in the air. He puts this one into Jones's hands. Jones battles his way to the 25-yard line. Gary, I'm not sure I recognize the throwing motion that the quarterback, Jason White, is using. He seems to be arching the ball more than we saw.
Well, he has thrown against bump and run 2 fade passes. This is a little slip screen. Can't really measure much on this one, but he has taken a pounding in the last 2 games. He hurt his wrist, remember, against Kansas State. And, you know, we still wonder if that's 100%, but when you face bump and run, you have to throw the fades, and he's been lobbing a few of them so far.
Saban's 2 corners are right up there in the familiar coverage, just 3 yards off. Lavallee was battling his way in, and there's interference on this play. Webster had jumped Jones coming across, and that flag was thrown because of Corey Webster's aggressive defense. Now, Gary, give us a read as a former quarterback, what you look for now in a bump and run situation like this when you know you've got press coverage.
Early in the football game, you've got to be careful not to fall into the trap of throwing too many fades. They want you to throw fades. It's a low priority, low percentage completion. You must establish that slant pass, and I think Chuck Long did the right thing of saying, we must show you that we'll try to get that ball inside out.
Jack, let's follow up on that hand story. Could there still be a problem with the quarterback?
Well, Brent, they say, and Jason insists that it is not, but when he came home from the Heisman Trophy week in New York City, I went to shake his hand when I was in Norman, and he winced in pain. When I got here, likewise. I don't know, Gary, but it could be affecting his throw. It's still a little tender.
Runnels lines up in front of Works. He's a lead blocker, and he's a dandy. Works cuts back in that defensive front for the Tigers. Now, Gary, I want to take everybody back to Arrowhead Stadium that night on December 6th. And take a look at this, because this is the play that you talked about when Jason White is abused.
It was the interception, big interception, and when they headed down there, it was a 14-7 game. He lands on it. You see it right there. Those things linger. Look, you know, we just watched Brett Favre play. That thumb has lingered all year.
What a great victory in overtime for the Packers on an interception. 2nd down, Randall Gay checks in as the nickel back. Jones comes through the motion for the Sooners. White back in that shotgun. The offensive line gives him time. He completes it in underneath. And we're always to the 41-yard line before there was Marquise Hill, that 6'7", 245, very active defensive end from New Orleans, jumped back on the play.
One of the things that LSU wants to do, and their defensive coordinator, Will Muschamp, wants to do, is take away the screen and draw game from Oklahoma. There's Will right there. He says they are great at screens and draws. We must force Jason White to throw the ball downfield, or we won't be able to sack him.
3rd down and 3, back in a passing formation with 4 wide for the Sooners. Spread the field, deflected, incomplete. It is 4th down. The Sooners are forced to punt.
Deflected balls, they had 8 of them against Georgia. On the short passing game, they jumped. They're very tall at the defensive line position. That time it was Pittman, number 48, that got it.
Now, the #1 return man in the nation. Remember, Perkins had all the touchdown runs, but Ferguson matched up with him, drives it deep. They're going to see what he's got. Over his head and on into the end zone. It'll come out on the 20-yard line. That was Bradley, Mark Bradley, racing downfield on coverage. One of the Sooner wide receivers. LSU up by 7. We've got a timeout.
I got to have that ADT trophy. Oh, man's got a trophy. I deserve that trophy. My trophy. I earned it.
You know Snoop got all the latest gear to go fly up under the radar.
That trophy is mine. It's mine.
Gotcha, Terry. Yo, Chief, here's Bob. Signed, sealed, and delivered. And I got a little something for you, too. Let's review. Got me, Terry.
Vote at NokiaUltimateBling.com for a chance to win 100 G's.
Here in their natural habitat, a young male demonstrates his suitability as a provider by offering the female a substantial prize. Ah, he's impressed her.
Wrap your paws around Taco Bell's new 99-cent cheesy bean and rice burrito. It's a full half-pound and loaded with 3 cheeses, fiesta sauce, and a cheesy, zesty kick. Now 99 cents is tasty and filling when you think outside the bun.
Hi, Tom. I know it's your first day, but we could really use your help.
You got it.
Thanks. We're just in a bit of a jam. All this has to get out today.
Yeah, I don't do shipping.
Oh, no. It's very easy. We use FedEx.com. Anybody can do it.
You don't understand. I have an MBA.
Oh, you have an MBA. In that case, I'll have to show you how to do it.
FedEx.com makes shipping so fast and easy, even an MBA can do it. Relax, it's FedEx.
This is something that this country is ready for.
The Soviets win. My goal is to beat them.
I want you to be a fireball hockey player!
Think that'll get them going? Oh, yeah.
This is your time.
You've got 10 seconds. The countdown going on right now. 5 seconds left in the game. Believe in miracles. Yes!
Miracle, rated PG, starts February 6th. Tom Hanks and Helen Hunt
I'll be right back.
in the network premiere of Castaway. ABC Monday at 8, 7 Central.
A fierce 6 minutes unfolds here in the Louisiana Superdome. 9 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Tigers 7, Sooners nothing. LSU football coming out from their own 20-yard line. Matt Malcolm, who was unable to play in last year's Cotton Bowl because of a foot injury, is now very healthy for this game here tonight. Moves up under center. And on first down, they elect to put it in the air, and his receiver slipped. Henderson slipped.
He slipped right on the painted portion of the artificial turf right there, Mark. Well, let's talk about what I think is going to happen. Controlling the line of scrimmage. Both coaches said the offensive lines and defensive lines must come through for their team to win it. So far, that LSU defensive line is controlling it. Nick Saban believes like the NFL believes. Third down is get the ball, keep the ball down. Let's see who wins that one. And defensive big plays. We've seen Derek Strait with one. We've seen the fumbled snap, and then we've seen the interception.
That was a third down touchdown. 3rd and 2, 24 yards. So there was your big play right there. 2nd down and 10. Vincent battling for 2 or 3. Let's check in with Lynn Swan. Lynn?
Brent, Michael Clayton will tell you that his assets are catching the ball, great hands, but combined with his physical abilities, makes him an unstoppable combination. Here he catches the contested pass, keeps the drive alive and the team going, and he sacrifices his abilities by making blocks unselfishly to help his teammates move down the field. That's the kind of player you want on your team. That's how you win championships.
And so, Gary, now on this 3rd down, we've got Michael Clayton poised.
And I think it'll be very conservative by Nick Saban. His defense is controlling the game. He will not let Matt Mock lose the ball game down here.
And Mock decides to use still another timeout. Remember, he knows how to manage the game. And something was not right for him. And so he will use his 2nd timeout. I believe the clock was ticking down.
That's their 2nd timeout.
TGIF Friday is all new with a George Lopez shocker.
Don't hit Max.
You turned out all right.
My head is never supposed to be this big. This is all swelling.
Then it's their first fight on Married to the Kellys.
Once when Mary was mad at me, I wrote her a poem.
I read that poem. It's not gonna work.
And a Hope and Faith wedding goes downhill. Wait till you see how Faith plans to save it.
Oh my God.
Plus, an unsuspecting Bonnie fights for a friend.
It's pretend, right?
No, it's Life with Bonnie. Part of an all-new TGIF ABC Friday.
3rd down and long for LSU. And the man who is under the gun is right there. The new defensive coordinator, remember Mike Stoops, has just been a consultant for this game. He's become the head coach at Arizona.
Let me fix this right here. Get that co right there because Mike is now the coach at Arizona right there. He's got all alone now, baby. Nobody to share that 62-yard run against.
Now Malkin, Webster the center. You can see him identifying the defense.
Three-man line for Oklahoma.
And they come on the blitz. Malk stands tall, fires right side, incomplete. So the blitz helps force an incompletion. Skylar Green, the intended target, and Malk picks himself up off the artificial turf.
Three-man line. They bring 6 players. You see it. Someone comes free. It's Brandon Shelby, number 5. If you want a scout report on Brent Venables and the difference between he and Mike Stoops, Venables likes the blitz more.
Now here it's Perkins' turn. Antonio Perkins. We saw him light up UCLA with 3 punt return touchdowns in one game back at Norman. Donnie Jones, one of the best punters in the country, matched against him. Oklahoma worked long and hard on trying to block a punt. They got a pretty good look that time. He may come up with something later. And Perkins catching the ball collides with, I believe it was his own man. It was pushed back into him, and they will spot the ball right there at the 36-yard line. Gary, let's take a look at our Dodge defensive playbook.
Well, get used to this. This is what you're going to see all night. You're going to see Webster and Daniels up man-to-man on the great receivers from Oklahoma. Double moves, out and up. Will the discipline of the defensive backs and the LSU defense be able to handle the lob ball? Chuck Long believes that Jason White is one of the best deep ball throwers that he's ever seen. So far, though, he's been a little short on his deep throws.
First down, and they move White back center, indicating that maybe they're going to try to run the ball. They do. They bring Clayton around in, jumps over one would-be defender, and he's close to the 50-yard line, and he has moved the chains, and there is their run coordinator, Kevin Wilson. A little bit under the gun, too, because of the offensive line's performance. Over the last 3 games, they've allowed a lot more sacks than they did earlier in the year. Now, Kevin says you have to run on this front, and by far, Chad Lavallee, number 93, he believes is their best defensive lineman. First down now at 48-yard line after the 12-yard run. Still in that eye. They come back with Jones. And something's cooking here, Mr. Danielson.
Well, that's exactly what I believe Oklahoma had to do all year. Establish and take some of the pressure off their quarterback. When Jason White has an average game, they lose. When he has just a little bit of a good game, they can lose. He has to almost play great towards the end of the season for Oklahoma to win. Against these great defense, it's very tough for a quarterback to carry it without a running game.
And again, they are back in that power eye. And again, they run Jones, twisting, turning, got another first down on it. Now, here is the Tostitos player comparison. I mentioned Lavallee, Gary, and there's another pretty good defensive lineman in this game.
Tommy Harris, you know, everybody's looking whether he will go pro. Chad Lavallee will obviously turn pro. He's been here, 24 years old. Tommy Harris, they're saying, is a top 5 pick in the NFL, but he does not make a lot of tackles. If you watch him, he causes a lot of disruption, but doesn't let a lot of tackles. This guy, Lavallee, makes a lot of plays.
It is interesting that the OU coaches had moved White up under center, and now they back him out. Back again in that shotgun with 4 receivers. That's the tight end, Donnelly. Over there is a look. He picks up the blitzer. Great read. White goes down. Near sideline. Jones jumps. And incomplete. I believe he was out of bounds. There's a young man who's a fine baseball player. He's been a starting outfielder for 2 years for the Sooners. The New York Yankees drafted him but couldn't sign him back in 2001. He makes a nice catch here.
Travis Daniels pushes the receiver to the sideline. Look at no room to throw the football. A perfectly thrown ball and you're out of bounds. That's the technique. That's exactly what the defense is trying to do. And on that play, Brandon Jones got beat. Did not allow Jason White any room.
And that was the best throw of the night.
Absolutely.
For Jason White.
But he did serve notice. He's got that throw.
2nd and 10. Back under center. Clayton coming in formation. Basically a slot man. Penalty flag is thrown prior to the snap, and this is going to cost Oklahoma. Now, Nick Saban, we have told you, blitzkrieg, bump and run. He allowed us to mic him at practice in Baton Rouge. I want you all to take a listen to Coach Saban.
All right, now come back. Outside in. We didn't strike. We didn't strike. Nobody's locking out. We didn't strike the guy. You got to strike him first. You get your hands inside on him. All right, now lock this arm out and lock that arm out so you can steer him. See, when he got this arm down, then you're getting turned out.
He's a hands-on teacher. He's one of the best in the business. I can see why 3 or 4 NFL teams are interested, but he's very happy for the time being. White is back sidearm incomplete. They had brought in Dante Hickson. They told me, Cale Gundy, the running back coach, had told me that Dante Hickson is going to see some action here tonight because of his speed. They are so cognizant of how much speed Saban has on the defensive side of the ball that the changeup is going to be number 35, Dante Hickson.
Now 3rd and long is exactly where those defenses love to bring that zone blitz. They overload one side and then they play a soft zone behind it.
Now where will the pressure come from? You know it's coming from LSU. They're not going to rush 4. There'll be 5 and maybe 6. Here they come. White tries to find an open man. Incomplete, and the pressure was closing in from behind, and White, even though he wasn't sacked, he was down at midfield. He was knocked down on that play.
It was an all-out blitz, 3rd and long, and it was man-to-man coverage. They're manned up all over the field right here, and here it comes. Here it comes, Jason. Throw a hot. We think we can make a tackle, a free safety in the middle of the field just in case somebody gets a play, and you see it. That's that pressure defense, why we all like to retire when we're in the NFL after a while.
Now Lehman calling the blocking assignments. Ferguson to punt it. Green is back deep with that speed. Signals fair catch at the 12-yard line. We check in down below with Jackaroo.
Well, Brent, before the season started, Nick Saban pulled out a DVD and played it for his team. It's the story of Seabiscuit. He explained to his players that Seabiscuit was an unheralded thoroughbred. And he said he was a horse that didn't get any respect and was a champion. He said, we're going to play this season exactly like Seabiscuit.
That was such an enjoyable family movie, Jack. Enjoyed every minute of it. I think I'll go out to the fairgrounds tomorrow and see if I can find me a Seabiscuit.
Hey, Brent, though, he's got some studs that aren't Seabiscuits on his team, though. He's got some thoroughbreds.
Secretariat, maybe?
Yes, he
Justin
does.
Vincent, the freshman. Out to the right. And slammed down at the 16. Gayron Allen, the linebacker, moves in. Folks, we are capacity plus. I've done a lot of football games here. Never seen a bigger crowd. We've had big plays. Corey Webster with the interception for the Tigers. And then Green on the wide end around. And the sprinter on the 4x100-meter NCAA champion relay team takes it to the end zone for the touchdown. And it'll be 2nd down and long. Now, Gary, you make such a good point about Matt Mock. What's your feeling about what he must do here tonight?
Just manage the game early. Don't lose the game before you have to. Just keep making first downs, hand the ball off, stay out of the bad plays. When the LSU coaches, we asked them, why are you running the ball better the second half of the year? They said, well, number 1, our freshman backs are better. But number 2, Matt Mock has gained some experience, and he gets us out of those bad plays. We used to call him, the coaches used to say, well, just dial it again. You know, that one didn't work. Well, Matt Mock gets him out of those dial it again plays. He gets him into the right play.
He'll be married later this year. Has the play from the sideline. Center is Webster. Offensive line's made only one mistake here tonight. 3rd down and 6 for the Tigers, and Mouk straight back. Well, intercepted by Everidge. There is a penalty flag. Everidge at the 20-yard line, but the penalty flag was thrown behind the defensive backfield that time, and Clayton's picking himself up
he got
off the ground right now.
I thought Clayton got held on the play. Yes. The ball would have been incomplete anyway, but again, you know, in these big games, no matter how much you practice, there's an anxiety factor. Everything that looks good in practice, you panic during the game and you grab a guy.
Bob Stoops is not happy by that call.
Let's see if it was
You
Clayton.
can see he is protesting vehemently on the sideline. I thought the flag came after the interception by Everidge. Let's listen to the Big East crew now.
Sideline warning against LSU. That is their first warning of the game.
Well, Bob Stoops is 4 years out
play?
on the field. And the warnings for Nick Saban, go figure.
How about the important play?
Yeah, we're not too concerned about that sideline warning on the far
Now,
side.
I think we don't know if it was holding on Michael Clayton. They obviously don't give the number. They don't even give the penalty on this one. But the ball was thrown very high. I don't even know if it was catchable on top of that. And that's what Bob Stoops was upset with.
the holding call, not pass interference. That was a holding call, so that it moves the football out to the 27.
That's true.
And that makes it a first down automatically. So now Everidge slipping up close to the line. Ali Broussard, another of the talented freshmen, checks in on the draw to the middle. And another freshman running back, number 22, bolts up the middle.
Well, let's see if we can spot something. Here's the game where the ball is going to go to the deep safety. Mock steps back, doesn't like to make these mistakes. A little pressure. I don't know. The holding was on the tight end right there.
Shelby.
That's exactly right.
Shelby was holding the tight end.
Yep. And that was a good call. That was a good call right there. You got to watch them all, and somebody who's watching the tight end was the back judge, and he got it.
2nd and 4 for Mock and the Tigers. So it's Ali Broussard's turn on the pitch. Wilkerson pulls. Nothing doing. Couldn't get that corner turn. The forecheck is over there. And Derek Strait, who's playing a whale of a football game. Strait caught Benson on a breakaway on the first offensive play of the game. Recovered a fumble inside the 5-yard line. Now he makes the play on Broussard.
Well, let's see now if Nick Saban doesn't get into Jimbo Fisher, the offensive coordinator for LSU, and say, I don't want that ball thrown down the middle again. Let's run a quarterback draw or something safe and punt the ball. They haven't proved they can move it on us.
3:25 remaining in the opening quarter. 5 seconds left. The 25-second clock. Mock gets the snap in the gun. Drops it off to Green on a flanker screen, and it was read beautifully by Allen.
That's one of those plays where both sides say good play. Nick Saban felt that his team was a little dangerous throwing out of his own end zone. Bob Stoops' defense, Brent Venables recovered from the holding call, and they get the ball back and into the dangerous hands of Perkins.
Johnny Jones.
Look at these wide splits, Brent. Look at the size of these splits here for LSU. Look at that space between these guys.
Oklahoma was working long and hard on blocking a punt all week long. Up over the top comes Bradley. Jones gets it off. Perkins, fumble! Battle for the loose ball. And Oklahoma recovered it. The official right on top of that play.
There was an early call there.
Well, wait a minute. LSU is signaling they're going to come up with that football, but the officials are hanging tough.
Perkins kind of gambles on this play, but you got to make plays. It was right in his stomach right there. Very tough arena to catch punts in. High ceiling, bright lights, and Perkins drops the first one.
Jason White and the Sooners. Here's the offense back on the field now. White has missed his last 4 passes. Be looking for something short. There's the H-back Runnels. He's been a very active blocker. Lead man Jones slices to the 41-yard line. Well, ABC Tuesday. Will Jim's plan to sell the house, get him into hot water? It's the first new gym of the new year. ABC Tuesday, 9/8 Central.
Emerging story for Oklahoma on first down. Oklahoma and Chuck Long have run the ball 5 times and only thrown the ball twice. You can see they respect that pass rush and want to establish the running game.
And they are really giving Runnels a workout. Now they have the 3 wide receivers bunched, and they bring Wilson through the formation. They've stacked basically over on the left side. White's going to roll the pocket over there into difficulty. Throw it up for grabs. Out of bounds. Incomplete. The pressure was coming that time from Marquise Hill.
He's a big one. He's the emergence of the 2 defensive ends. Hill and Spears have really brought this defense. Before it was just Slavale inside. But this team, 8 different players on this defense have 3 or more sacks. Imagine that. 8 different players on the team. That's how they come from all angles. It's not just all blitz here. On second down, they're giving them a lot of zone also.
Chuck Long told me that J.D. Runnels was going to be the key to this game. He's got to pick up the blitzers. 3rd and long. He's back in. He's the bodyguard to the left. He's looking for pressure. He's got one. Gave White time. Fired. First down at midfield. So J.D. Runnels doing some of the little things allows White to have enough time to hit Mark Clayton. What a fine block that was.
Sometimes when you blitz, you get a bad matchup, and that's what happened for LSU this time, and Jason White found it. You get Clayton on Jack Hunt. That's the safety right there. Jack Hunt cannot cover Mark Clayton. Watch him get turned around, inside and outside, and there it is, an easy first down. Wonderful job by Jason White.
Illegal formation. Yeah. This is going to cost them 5 yards. They'll bring it back. It'll be first down and 15. Now, we have only 1:13 left in the opening quarter here, Gary. There's an emerging story. Oklahoma, the highest scoring team in the nation, has not scored in almost 4 quarters. Remember, they scored on their first series against Kansas State in Kansas City in the Big 12 championship game. They have not scored since then.
15 straight drives, 79 plays. It looked like one of my career highlights right there.
You were better than that.
Those are one of the ones when I put the back up. You start not talking to the coach for a long time after one of those.
First time he's ever been self-effacing.
Well, you know, they tried to trick play. Oklahoma did that time. A quick huddle, quick snap, but they did not line up properly.
So here's your first and 15 after the 5-yard penalty. Arnold stays in a fullback position. They try to run behind him with Jones, and it was eaten alive that time by Travis Daniels. So the defensive back comes up and makes the play.
Corner blitz that time. They ran it right into the corner cat blitz. That is good coaching. You can tell this defense is inside the head of Oklahoma. There's Muschamp. Every time I saw him for the last, 3 weeks, he was watching tape, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. And he finally told us, he finally broke down, he said, look, if you rush 4 on Jason White, he'll complete 60% of his passes. If you rush 5 or 6, it drops down to 43. So guess what he had in mind? Who counts all that stuff? Second down. White is back, tries to drop it off, and Wilson juggling it on the dive was able to pull it in for a completion. But no, I think it's down. They'll be brought back down to the line of scrimmage. -2 yards he lost on that play. So ABC Sports presentation of the Nokia Sugar Bowl will return with the second quarter after this message and a word from our ABC station.
Ma'am, you may want to take cover. We've had some reports of wild animals in the area.
Ooh, my. Come on.
Wild animals? Where?
Let's get out of here, lady.
The anniversary edition Dodge Caravan, featuring a no extra charge rear seat video system.
Thanks, officer.
Keep up the good work.
Disney's The Lion King special edition on DVD and in Dodge Caravan. Now get 0% financing for 72 months plus a $500 in DVD coupon on Dodge Caravan.
The Home Depot is more than a store. It's how to go from cluttered to clean. With everything you need, like closet organizers and storage shelves from Mills Pride Closet Made and Workforce. And right now, 20-gallon Rubbermaid storage totes are a special buy at only $2.77. We also offer custom-cut shelves and advice on what works. Start getting organized. Stop by one of our free You Can Get Organized clinics every Saturday in January at 2 p.m. The Home Depot. You can do it, we can help.
You're watching ABC.
Gonna take you for a ride on a hot Texas night. Get ready. Loving your Ford keeps you coming back for more, so steady. 'Cause Ford and Texas go hand in hand. Look again, my friend, you won't need all the rest. Ford is the best in Texas. Ford is the best in Texas.
Hats off to Mom. She knew how to start your day off right. No toasty flakes for you. What you need is the kind of hot, hearty breakfast that would earn Mom's stamp of approval. So right now at Whataburger, we're serving taquitos for under $1. How about that, Mom?
What a burger!
Just like you like it.
It was fast. We made it faster.
It was smart. We made it smarter. Until it was as close to perfect as it's ever come. And that's saying something. Introducing the new, more powerful ES330. At your Houston area Lexus dealer.
A big cool down tonight after the game.
You're watching ABC's coverage of the Nokia Sugar Bowl.
Third down.
Third and long on that one, and I think that's a good job by Oklahoma and Jason White, just taking what's there, not trying to force the ball downfield and playing a little field position game. Looks like Oklahoma's defense has settled down a bit, so Jason White can make a first down and just punt the football. It's not the worst thing that could happen.
Blake Ferguson standing back at the 35-yard line. Booms it toward Green. Green will let it bounce over his head. Bradley's right there. This will be downed inside the 5-yard line. You know, Gary, when you look back at the brief history of the Bowl Championship Series, you found kind of an interesting theory about the winning quarterbacks in this game.
I really do. I really think it's the type of guy that's like a coach on the football team. Craig Krenzel, Josh Heupel. You know, the guys that can make decisions on the field. Matt Mock, even Jason White. You want a guy out there that doesn't really throw the ball 70 yards, but gets you out of the bad plays. Those are the guys that are making the plays.
Bad field position here for Nick Saban and the Tigers, and they must be careful. Protecting the football. Derek Strait in on the play defensively again. That knocked the veteran, the one-time minor league baseball player. He led Jasper High School to a state championship game before losing. He was Indiana's Mr. Baseball one year. That's when he elected to sign with the team that he always dreamed of playing for, the Chicago Cubs, but that didn't work out. He liked the team game a little bit better. He remembered that Nick Saban had recruited in Michigan State, made the call, and here he is tossing now to Vincent. Vincent to the 3-yard line, and so it's quite a story here.
It really is. And when you put a quarterback together, you got to be a lot of different things, and Matt Mock is that. You mentioned a catcher. He's in charge of this football team, just like a great catcher on a baseball team. Very bright, pre-med major. He uses that. It spills over into the football game, and he is great with his feet. He hurt that ankle last year, had a lot of spring football when he wasn't 100%. But remember, he burst onto the scene in 2001 with an injury to the quarterback, and he was a runner in that football game. He hasn't run yet tonight.
Back in the shotgun in that noisy end zone, directly in front of a whole lot of fans. And nothing doing for Adai as Brandon Shelby leads the Redshirts in on top of the LSU running back. And now, in a battle of field position, Oklahoma has an opportunity.
Yeah, blitz again, right into the blitz. Could not get the bowling guard that time. Tackle Rodney Reed to the point of attack quick enough. And for the first time in 2 games, Brent, I've seen that swagger start to come back to this Oklahoma defense.
Perkins is standing at midfield. Jones near the end line. Booms it. But this should be great field position. Perkins down at the 35-yard line. So the best opportunity of the game coming up now for Oklahoma. They're down a touchdown, but they're within striking distance.
You forget who run things around here.
You ain't gonna like how this ends.
On January 16th.
Whoa.
The only way to survive.
I'm on his head by midnight. This just keeps getting better and better.
Is to break every rule.
Does it have to be this much fun? Damn right.
From the producer of The Fast and the Furious and SWAT.
Let's ride.
Torque.
You messed with the wrong chick! Looks like you did.
Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, January 16th.
The new Ford F-150 has the strongest, toughest frame, the highest payload capacity, the most towing strength, and the quietest interior. So what do you give the truck that has everything? The 2004 Motor Trend Truck of the Year Award. Only this truck earned the right to be the next F-150. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
They set up in the eye on this, the last play of the game. And here's the snap. Hand off to the tailback. Peterson tries the right side. Wow, what a hit. But he stays on his feet, and he's broken to the outside, and it's wide open. Touchdown. Give him a touchdown.
I'm wanted in 4 states, but it's all good. Got me new driver's license and a sweet new pickup. V8, baby, 500 horsepower. Oh, and 4 of them mud flaps with the naked ladies on them. Brrr, mamacita. And the best part is, it's all free. Yeah, well, for me at least.
Introducing City Identity Theft Solutions. Free with any City card. Help getting your life back? That's using your card wisely.
The coming-of-age story of one boy's most embarrassing moment.
Perfectly normal. How can this be normal? I can barely walk.
An all-new 8 Simple Rules, followed by an all-new I'm With Her, ABC Tuesday.
But they will be tested this time. Oklahoma at the 35-yard line. Let's see what they can come up with on first down. Nick Saban, like all outstanding defensive coaches, is a down and distance guy. He wants to win first and second down. He wants to keep them in third and long. Ronaldo works. In is the running back. Remember now, White is under center. That has been a tip run so far here tonight. Play fake this time. White's in trouble, and he is sacked at the 44-yard line. That's why they put him in a shotgun when he throws the ball. Chuck Long saying he has more time to throw it. He couldn't pull out from center.
Yeah, Jason doesn't get back in the pocket. Well, he's not used to it. He hasn't practiced it. And this defense, Lionel Turner coming at it. Great speed, forcing the ball carrier back inside. The whole game plan has been attack the quarterback, and when he throws, get your hands up because he likes to throw short balls.
Will Muschamp, the defensive coordinator, as one of his players now is being tended to on the field. That's Melvin Oliver, the sophomore defensive lineman, shaken up. Jack, this is one of the best defenses we've seen this year, this LSU team.
Boy, Brent, they're very impressive, and maybe one of the reasons is because where they went and off to study. You know, all of these coaches, they like to exchange ideas in the offseason. Well, Mike Stoops, the former defensive coordinator for Oklahoma, visited LSU to study their defense in 2001, and then Oklahoma returned the favor for Will Muschamp as he went down to Oklahoma in Norman and studied the defense in 2002. Bet you they won't be doing that anytime soon.
And there is Mike Stoops, now the head football coach at the University of Arizona. He's been attending the practices, helping out a little bit, but basically staying pretty much out of the way. His brother had moved over to coach the secondary, and there you see Brent Venables discussing it with head coach Bob Stoops. Bob used to be a defensive backfield coach, so that was nothing new, but it certainly did strain the time of the head coach. Now back in the shotgun, goes White on second down and 19. They throw a screen to Clayton, who has blazing speed, puts it down, goes after it, as Lavallee comes off the defensive front to make the play. Well, here's our Aflac trivia question. Oklahoma and LSU have met only once before, which is hard to believe, in the 1950 Sugar Bowl. And who was Oklahoma's quarterback that day back in 1950?
It appears that Oklahoma on third down is very, very leery of throwing deep downfield. They don't think they can hold up in the pass rush on Jason White.
So they need to try to hit something underneath. And the whistle prior to the snap thrown on the far side and indicating a timeout being called by LSU. So that would exhaust their timeouts here in the first half. So we'll take a break.
With its new available Power Stroke diesel and 5-speed automatic torque shift transmission, the Ford F-Series Super Duty pulls faster and easier than any other diesel pickup. Ford F-Series. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
You know, Bugsy, in our line of work, I'm glad we have that insurance. What insurance, Doc? Nope, that's not it. The one that pays you cash if you get hurt and can't work. And Dad's, it's right on the tip of my bill. Flapjack.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Tink, I knew the name all along.
Can't taste my beer. I can't taste my beer. I can't taste my beer.
I can't taste my beer!
I can't taste my beer.
I can't taste my beer! I can't taste my beer!
Next time, try the light beer that actually tastes like beer. Great tasting, less filling, Miller Lite. Good call.
Enhanced TV is brought to you by Ford and the next Ford F-150. Ford F-150, built Ford tough. New Lay's stacks, not just stackable, irresistible. And Charles Schwab, seeing the market from a different perspective. Yours.
The bright lights of the Crescent City, the Big Easy. This has not been an air show here tonight, folks. One quarterback's throwing for 28, Gary, and the other 12.
Yeah, but this guy, Jason White, has to play A ball for his team to win. Matt Mock only has to play C ball for his team to win.
Third down, 18 yards the Sooners need on this play. White dances to the right, on the move, incomplete. And it's fourth down. So after inheriting field position at the 35 following the Perkins punt return, they now squander that advantage against this LSU defense, and Blake Ferguson trots onto the field. When you take a look at third downs for Oklahoma, they are 1 of 5 as Nick Saban continues to keep them in third and long here tonight.
Nice hold up by Tommy Lehman right there as the slot man over the gunner started to come from the right side of the screen.
Speed from the corner. Runnels has got him. Here's Green letting it go over his head, and Ferguson has dropped one inside the 10-yard line. Just inside it, there is a penalty flag. You can see it on your screen. Our referee, Dennis Hennigan, goes down to get it all sorted out in this game, in which Oklahoma has only 48 yards of offense against this LSU defense. They could do nothing with field position at the Tigers' 35-yard line.
I'll tell you, Brent, that last third down play, Travis Daniels took on Mark Clayton. You can see personal foul. They hit the Skylar Green on that play. But go back to that third down play. Watch this coverage by Travis Daniels. Started the year out as a safety, but when LaRon Lundy came on as a better player, it allowed Daniels to move back the corner. And here you see, hitting the receiver, he didn't get the ball. That's going to be a penalty, an obvious penalty on Oklahoma.
And that was Brodney Poole, the defensive back, who was guilty.
Personal foul on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Repeat fourth down.
Stoops wants an explanation.
This is very interesting. because the play wasn't over and there was a personal foul during the play, they will repeat fourth down. So instead of tacking it on with LSU's ball right from there, since they never had possession of the ball, they're going to repeat it.
So they'll back Ferguson up again. And remember, the nation's #1 punt returner, number 5, Skylar Green, who has scored the touchdown tonight on an end around. He'll back it up. I remember the last championship game here in New Orleans. Peter Warwick standing right back there for Florida State against Virginia Tech, and Michael Vick fielded it and took it to the end zone for a touchdown that helped propel the Noles to a national championship. Ferguson, this one a little bit low. Green on the run. Dances, but not past Lehman. Man, what great coverage by a starting Will linebacker getting down the field. And remember, he was the up back in that formation. LSU ball. We come back.
What you got in the bag, mystery man? The pros out, snoopers in.
Who that? Who that there?
What the? This guy's had one too many concussions.
Vote at NokiaUltimateBling.com for a chance to win 100 G's.
America's #1 snack comes in stacks. Introducing new Lay's Stacks Potato Crisps. Not just stackable, irresistible.
One for you, one for you, one for you. 10 for me.
Only one truck has the strongest, toughest frame of any full-size pickup. That truck is the new Ford F-150. It has a fully boxed frame with crossbars welded through the side rails, all of which gives you the highest payload. Only the next F-150 earned the right to be the 2004 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
These are your 401k election forms. As you can see, there are numerous options to choose from. And remember, this is your retirement, so make your selections carefully. Just make sure you get them back to me before the end of the day. Any questions?
This is where we come in. Schwab Corporate Services found a way to make personalized advice available through every 401k plan we service. For help with your company's retirement plan, call 1-800-9-SCHWAB.
Will Jim's plan to sell the house get him into hot water? All new Jim, 9/8 Central, ABC Tuesday.
I better go get some paper towels.
The Nokia Sugar Bowl. This ABC Sports exclusive presentation brought to you by Nokia. Who done it? Watch Nokia and Snoop Dogg during halftime. The next Ford F-150, built Ford tough. New Lay's Stacks, not just stackable, irresistible. And Charles Schwab, seeing the market from a different perspective. Yours.
One of the lucky ones. Probably underneath that, he's got the LSU cap under that second one there. First down and 10. Complete. Henderson to the 26-yard line. And, you know, in talking about Matt Mock, we talked to him about his strength as a quarterback.
I think the one thing I really try to do is realize that, you know, I might not be the biggest, the fastest guy, but, you know, we've got a lot of those guys on the team. So if I can get the ball to them and let them, do the hard work, we'll have success.
So he understands his role perfectly, manages this offense for LSU, adds them ahead 7-0 here. Second quarter of the Nokia Sugar Bowl, this year's BCS championship game. Second down and 8 for the Tigers. Green comes over to the right side of the formation. Play fake. Linebacker in hot pursuit. Mock, an excellent runner. And he is crushed before he could get back to the line of scrimmage that time. So we have had 1 touchdown and a whole lot of defense in this game so far. Only 48 total yards for Oklahoma and 117 for LSU. 64 of them for the Tigers came on their first play from scrimmage when Vincent bolted up the middle before Strait saved a touchdown with a tackle. But not before the Tigers had some excellent field position. Then they fumbled it back inside the 5-yard line, and it wasn't until Corey Webster intercepted a pass that the Tigers on 3rd and 2 were able to score on an end around. 3rd down. Clayton's off the line. Now can't get to him, and Nicholson forced him up into the pocket where there was more pressure. So number 8, Dante Nicholson, destroyed the play, and Rodney Poole cleans up on it.
Now both guys for LSU, the fullback and the tailback, both missed their blocks on the play. Can't do this. Watch this. 2 guys come, 2 guys whiff, and the quarterback has no chance. Inside, whiff, whiff. Boy, that's not good. There's nobody quick enough against him to get away from 2 guys. His name is Michael Vick when we were here last time.
I remember there's a new long snapper for LSU, Gant Petty. So far, he's been very accurate. They got it. There's the block punt recovered at the 2-yard line. 1st and goal all week long. Bob Stoops himself worked here in the Superdome with his punting team. He said we can get one. He continued to preach it. And now they've given themselves an opportunity to tie this football game.
It's Brandon Shelby. Look at those wide splits. Wide splits. Here it comes from this side. Brandon Shelby, number 5, is the guy who gets it. Clean run. Lays out. 2 guys could have got it, actually. Shelby's the one who gets it. And then it's Russell Dennison, number 36, who falls on it. And that's that big play again that Lynn talked about in the open. Might come on a punt return, but it's special teams that can usually turn a game.
Jones will be the running back. Runnels the lead blocker. They switch the power of the formation over to the left-hand side. On the toss, Jones for the end zone, battling, and he is stopped just short of it against this LSU defense. And it will be 2nd and goal as Lionel Turner out of Walker, Louisiana.
Well, that was the guy that really came on in this defense from the linebacker spot. LSU fans know, beginning of this year, they thought, can we replace Brady James? Lionel Turner was an outside linebacker. He shifted inside. They brought up Eric Alexander.
They want timeout on the Oklahoma sideline. Not sure they got the personnel they want. They do not get it signaled in time. They move the strength again to the left-hand side. Play fake. White fires for it. Incomplete, and now it is 3rd and goal.
That's a great play. Corey Webster rips that ball out. I don't know if it was dropped before he hit it, but what discipline by that defense for LSU. They ran 2 guys out to the left side of the formation. They're covered, forces Jason to go backside, throws a strike, and Clayton should have caught that ball.
What a fierce goal line stand so far. In 2 plays, they have yielded only 1 yard against Oklahoma, the highest scoring team in the nation. Now they shift power over to the wide side. Runnels still the lead man. Here comes Jones powering straight ahead. Penalty flag is thrown. A penalty flag is thrown. Certainly no indication at any time of a touchdown.
Would have been 2 possibilities lined up in the neutral zone against LSU. Could be 1.
That's our indication. Half the distance, so they will lose about half a yard.
Yeah.
Now at this point, you really now wonder about Jason White being able to follow center Vince Carter into the end zone. Now against that is the fact that he has undergone major knee operations in the left and the right in each of the previous 2 years. They don't like to expose him in this situation, but he is so close right now that with Joseph on the right, Carter in the center, Shayshawn in the left, they should be able to power in here. They hand it off. Touchdown. Jones crossed the plane. We are an extra point away from being tied in New Orleans.
It wasn't so much of the distance that the penalty caused, but the extra down gave Oklahoma an opportunity to run 1 more play, the 4th of the series. And even though it was 3rd down, that punt block gets Oklahoma's offense off the 9. Because defensively, Oklahoma has found their game.
Now, Trey DiCarlo, who struggled during the pregame warm-ups, kicking field goals from about 40 yards out, is on to attempt the extra point. He has missed 2 extra points this year, not this one. Now he has kicked 73 extra points. But it was all set up because of Bob Stoops' aggressive play on the special teams. His offense going nowhere here tonight against LSU. He desperately needed a special team or a defensive unit to make a play. They did. Jones took it to the end zone. We're tied.
The new Ford F-150 has the strongest, toughest frame, the highest payload capacity, the most towing strength, and the quietest interior. So what do you give the truck that has everything? The 2004 Motor Trend Truck of the Year Award. Only this truck earned the right to be the next F-150. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
Sandlots, half pipes, half court, center field, rec centers, rec leagues, major leagues, and labs. Before Farbo, windstorms, windmills, sweat chambers, and labs. Grass, mud, sand, schoolyard, backyard, the garden, the swamp, the vet, the Met, the pit, the park, the lake, the gate, the bar, Bean Dome, Sky Dome, and labs. Venice, Rutgers, old school, new school, home, Gatorade. Tested in labs, proven everywhere.
Here's a question. If you needed your insurance, who would you call? Not the name of the company, but the name of the person. You've got 2 seconds. Coming up blank, you may want to consider Allstate. You'd have a local agent you can count on, a licensed professional whose name you know, not just a number. You deserve a relationship with a real person. That's Allstate stand. Are you in good hands?
The guys discover the VIP bathroom. Now, will they ever be able to go back?
Give us a little time to get dressed, maybe.
No. All new, less than perfect ABC Tuesday.
You're watching the Nokia Sugar Bowl on ABC Sports.
In this town this week, I got to tell you, 2 of the greatest groups of alumni for football, for college football, LSU and Oklahoma, and they have had a wonderful time here in New Orleans getting ready for this BCS championship game. DiCarlo with the ball on the tee to kick it off. Henderson and Green are back deep to return. There's speed and more speed, and DiCarlo said, let me just take it on into the end zone, take a knee. Now remember our Aflac trivia question. In that 1950 Sugar Bowl, who was the winning Oklahoma quarterback? Well, let's go back and take a look. Here he is. You recognize him under center. Go on, and that's the legendary Darrell Royal. Greatest coach in Texas Longhorn football history. Just a great, great player. Norman, Oklahoma. Hope the old coach is doing well and enjoying the game tonight. Always great to see him when we go down Austin Way. See the Longhorns who lost Tuffy there the other night to Washington State. They can't be too happy, and they've got to be amazed at this LSU defense. Remember, a year ago, Roy Williams and the Horns beat this LSU team in the Cotton Bowl. Play fake out now, rolls to the left, throws past the tight end because he had a receiver open downfield, and Devery Henderson, who can run a 4.3 40, had all kinds of daylight down there for a 20-yard gain.
You called it exactly right. If Matt Mock doesn't complete that one, he might have to keep running because he had the tight end Eric Edwards wide open for a first down play. And when you pass up a sure completion to go downfield, you better hit it. Believe me, you better hit it. I like the moxie. They needed a big play. Had 114 yards going into that play, Brent. 64 of them on one play. They haven't moved anywhere since.
Now with a first down out of the 40. Play fake knock to Clayton. Close to the first down at midfield. And we remind you that Saturday, all the action and excitement of the National Hockey League returns to ABC. Three wonderful regional matchups. You'll see the Avalanche and the Stars, Red Wings, Bruins, and Rangers, Islanders. The NHL on ABC Saturday at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And check your local listings for the hockey game in your area. Probably got a lot of fellows in the National Hockey League if they're not playing tonight watching this game. These guys in the National Hockey League are just great sport fans, no matter what the game is. They go out to a racetrack every now and then with you too. There comes Knock, handing off. Good jump by Vincent, the freshman. What a beautiful run to the 36-yard line. A penalty flag is thrown at the 40. Clayton was there trying to open up a hole for him down there. He looked disgusted on the play, and it is against the offense.
I think it was on Michael Clayton, or he saw it right there, one of the two. But you know, that corner cat blitz from Derek Strait, and Vincent runs right through it, reminiscent of Derek Sproles. Remember Darren Sproles in that game? That was really the play of the game. Here's Strait. Watch him right in here. He kind of goes a shoe duster. He goes too low on the play, doesn't get the tackle, and there's the play. Very similar to that play when Sproles ran right through that tackle and changed the game for Kansas State.
.6:56 remaining here in the first half. John Saunders and the gang, of course, coming your way at
penalty was from the spot, so when they brought the ball back, it was still a first down.
Gary, that was one of the best runs past the line of scrimmage that I've seen in a long time.
He's got some talent. This is a guy.
He seems to get in a hole and then dance for daylight. You know, he's got that little scoot move between tackles. This is the first time we've seen him in the flesh. He's a dandy. Mount got to hurry now. They've had a little bit of clock trouble here.
No timeouts.
Clayton's got to get over the left side of the formation. Penalty flag didn't get it off, did he?
No, both receivers were moving on the play.
And the completion to the running back, Joseph Adai, and so it'll come back there.
Well, Nick Saban just going berserk on the sideline right now. These self-inflicted wounds. I mean, that's just line up in your proper spot. Two receivers shifted on the play just as the ball. Watch the top of your screen right here. Watch how they both shift at the same time. Oh, that don't work. You can only have one of those guys moving.
Thought it was back in Toronto.
Yeah, right.
Let's go down below to Lynn Swan. Lynn?
Well, Brent, both these teams haven't played the game since December 6th. That's a month that they've been without playing a football game. You get into a big game like this, little things are off. Receivers aren't used to being contested. They have to take a little time to get up to game speed. The coaches are just having a problem trying to be so detailed about every play, getting it in, and that's the problem with the clock management tonight.
Oh, my friend Lynn, standing up for the receivers again. Second down, Mock keeps it, and he crosses the 45-yard line.
Funny how it didn't hurt USC's receivers.
No, they kind of broke
They seem to be able to. Well, Lynn's old school.
What was it exactly that they did during a month off that these fellas haven't?
Well, they focused a little more on catching the ball.
I must tell you, folks, ladies and gentlemen, I know many of you, especially in Southern California, wondered, how did Lynn Swan handle it? He has been so elegant here in New Orleans and so gracious to both these teams. And the Nokia Sugar Bowl, folks, he's not claiming any national championship. He's not bragging about that great Trojan effort out there. So it is third down from the 45-yard line, and Mount underneath. First down, and then some as David Jones breaks a tackle and makes it to the 30-yard line.
Just slipping one guy out, two receivers come inside, and Matt Mock puts this ball exactly where you have to. Jones, big tight end, fullback, right on that hip, catches it. Poor tackle in the secondary by Oklahoma, and he turns up and gets positive yards. You know, Mock is a gamer. You watch the guy in practice and you go, yeah, you know, all right, he looks pretty good. When he gets game, he's much more comfortable than he is in practice.
We're going to have Clayton throw it. He's going to go to the end zone. Receivers covered, and it's out of bounds anyway. It'll be second down and 10. Well, Bachelor Bob broke her heart, but look who's back. Meredith.
You sexy thing, you.
She's got 25 guys to choose from. The Bachelorette season premiere Wednesday, January 14th at 9, 8 Central on ABC.
If Bob would have picked her, he'd still be hooked up, I think. That's who our the Danielson family all chose right there. Meredith was our winner.
Oh, good for you. I was watching an NBA game sometimes. It's okay. Second down and 10 at the 30-yard line. High formation look now, a little motion. Henderson with that speed. They hand to Benson. Benson sprints inside the 25, the freshman to the 16, and he looks like he's going to be something, doesn't he?
He really is good. You know, I mean, this guy practiced 9 days in spring ball and defense. Nick Saban put him trying to find a spot. Started out the year 4th string, but watch him feel it. Freshman, he went through a spring practice, actually practiced with the team last year in the Cotton Bowl, sat out a year, but he has really taken now, built his way up, and a good football player.
He's over 100 yards now for the 4th consecutive game.
Wow,
he has passed Dalton Hilliard's freshman rushing record, so he has put the new standard up for LSU. Here he comes again. Still on his feet. Touchdown, Vincent. Amazing performance. First he breaks open the SEC title game with that 87-yarder, and now he bolts LSU ahead here with a splendid 18-yard touchdown run. Oh my.
Watch him use the umpire to cut off the last would-be tackler. Sets him inside and then goes around, and you can't get there because you see the umpire and you run off him. What a brilliant run.
And the extra point is up and good. Ryan Goday makes it a 14-7 game. Well, Herschel Walker exploded in this setting at the Nokia Sugar Bowl. Could it be Vincent tonight? He's on his way.
Did those shipments get to Detroit this morning? No. They're going to be a few days late. Did you use FedEx Express like I asked you? No. Remind me again why I keep you around here. You're my dad.
When you need fast, reliable service, relax, it's FedEx.
What the deal, Chief? On the lazy, give me the wheezy. Hey, Snoop, what are you doing, man? The game is on. The ADT trophy, remember? Daddy's on it. Hey, homie. Slow your roll before you lose control. Okay. No, not you, Chief. Is it Bowden? Nah, T respects the game too much to do something scandalous. Is it the pro? A pro would never go that low. Okay, what about the horn fall? Man, please. Now think real hard. We'd like to be there before the second half. Now who got the shizzle to pull this off? Ring, ring. That's that bling, bling. I had to do it. Yeah, you got it. That's cold, Jack.
Everyone wants it. Only one will get it. Vote at NokiaUltimateBling.com for a chance to win 100 G's.
In the battle between the mob.
I want a message sent. You make it clear I own this town.
And the FBI.
Why is Malloy always one step ahead of us?
Both sides have crossed the line. An all-new Line of Fire, Tuesday at 10/9 Central on ABC. Viewer discretion is advised.
LSU leads the Nokia Sugar Bowl over Oklahoma 14-7. Justin Vincent out of Lake Charles, Louisiana. He says his hobbies, folks, are deer and rabbit hunting. There better be a quick rabbit to get away from that young'un right down there. Now, let me tell you, he doesn't need a gun. He just goes out there and runs him down.
They couldn't grab him either. Oklahoma missed the tackle up front, missed the tackle on the second level, and he just ran into the end zone.
Jackson with the ball on the tee. And LSU ahead for the second time here tonight. They have Mark Clayton on the field as a return man. Get the ball in his hands any way they can. And he is down at the 14-yard line. There's Brazil, another of the speedsters. coming down with that defensive unit. Man, if he can learn how to catch a football in traffic, he's going to be some dandy, folks. He's one of your 4-3 runners. Well, coming up on the BMW X3 halftime show, John, Terry, and Craig will break down the first half with former Oklahoma head coach Barry Switzer. Plus, we'll go live to Bourbon Street. Man, there were some times if you wanted to talk to Barry, you would go live to Bourbon
that's right. Jason White is 6 for 15 in this football game.
Runnels staying in with that H-back look that time. The inside handoff, trying to get the running game going. Jones battles his way out to the 19-yard line. You know, speaking of running backs, I must say this before we get too long into the night because I'll forget it.
Alert, everyone, alert. This is the Adrian Peterson alert.
Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. You folks in Norman, you got a great running back headed your way. At least I hope he's as good as I've been told. But Adrian Peterson, he pulled that OU hat right out of that bag in that Army All-Star game yesterday. And he's coming out. I believe he can carry that ball about 15, 16 times a game for them. Here's Jones coming back. Nothing doing against this front. What a play by Marquise Hill.
Man, these two bookends, Marquise Hill and Marcus Spears. You got two guys like that. There's two different styles of defense. One is a one-gap defense up front, where you ask your guys up here to just get upfield. Nick Saban doesn't let his defensive linemen go one gap. He says push, cover two gaps. That's the style they do. You got to have strength. You got to control your offensive linemen. That way you have more guys covering more gaps. That is what he teaches.
And they have yielded only 54 yards to Oklahoma in this game. The Sooners' lone touchdown set up by a blocked punt. White, good job of the offensive line until then. It broke down. He kept the ball too long. Good coverage, and Marquise Hill came free on him again with the sack.
Wes Sims is the guy who had Marquise Hill on that one. I thought it was decent. I thought it was decent protection that time. You got a blitz coming, 4 from one side, 2 from the other. Time. You can't hold the ball that long. This is a quarterback that isn't used to this type of pressure. It happened in the second half of the season.
Marquise Hill made all 3 tackles in that series. And now
series.
Fergus is backed up in the end zone for Oklahoma, and LSU would like to repay the favor if they can get in on this punt. They'll settle for some field position and a return. Fair catch by Green at midfield. Well, John, Terry, and Craig, what have you got planned for us at halftime?
Well, coming up on the BMW X3 halftime report, we'll break it down. The crowd obviously in favor of LSU, and they've dominated.
Yes, they've dominated the line of scrimmage. If Oklahoma doesn't block a punt, they don't even in this game. And you know what? On that last play, they're Oklahoma. They only get 3 people out in the route. I'll show you what LSU did on offense that last drive to get in the end zone. OU needs to make an adjustment.
Plus, we'll be joined by Oklahoma coaching legend Barry Switzer. Brent.
All right, John, make sure you show me that interception by the Packers. I haven't seen it yet. I was busy doing something up here. Mock is back. On the roll, receivers are covered, and so Mock changes direction, and he picks up 3 yards before he is down. So Mock, who was a sensational running quarterback in high school, and of course he suffered that foot injury. He had to rehab that foot. And then, as we told you the story, he selected baseball, Jack.
Well, Brent, so how did he end up with the LSU Tigers? We'll tell you after this play.
Second down, and Mock out of bounds. And, Jack, that was a pretty good phone call that Nick Saban accepted that day.
Yes, indeed it was. But Nick Saban got the phone call because he knew of Matt Mock, because Matt was playing in the minor league organization for the Lansing Lugnuts when Nick Saban was at Michigan State University. They hit up with a friendship. Nick says he used to go to a lot of the games, and he would watch. And then, when it was time, he decided that he would go and call Nick Saban, and Nick said, come on down to the Bayou.
And, Jack, during that, I think they decided that wasn't a catch over there on the far side, because they brought the ball on back to the line of scrimmage between the 47 and the 48-yard line, so it will be 3rd and 7.
Good lesson to all the coaches out there. Be nice to the guys you don't sign. They may come back. This looks like a blitz look here for
There are
OU.
4 wide receivers
Here they come.
for LSU. And they leave Undai alone. One of the blitzers changed his mind. Derek Strait going over, but again, we've got a penalty flag on the play.
That was, yeah, one of those offensive linemen grabbed one of the blitzers on that play, but that was very bad technique for Oklahoma that time. All-out blitz and let the remaining running back just clean go out that time. Someone is responsible to peel with that back.
Well, Jimbo Fisher now will reach into his bag of plays and see what he can come up with here on 3rd and long. LSU coming off its best series of the game, now having some self-inflicted difficulties against the Sooners. There is Jimbo in the LSU coach's box. Someday he too will become a head coach, but he's very, very comfortable working with Nick Saban, directing the offense. Obviously, Nick Saban is a hands-on defensive coach. He pretty much leaves Jimbo away after they go over the base game plan. Now Mock is back. Fires downfield. Clayton over to him. Picked off at the 15-yard line. And Antonio Perkins is out of bounds after the interception. Not particularly a well-thrown ball that time.
Brad, but not a disaster. When you've had your last punt blocked and it's 3rd and very long, if you're going to throw the ball downfield, take a shot. If it gets intercepted, you tackle the guy. There's only 53 seconds left in the half. I think it's a good call by Jimbo Fisher.
So after the bench warning, now unsportsmanlike conduct is going to be called. Bob Stoops, Cale Gundy just took the headset off over there looking at the head coach. Because obviously it has been called against them after the interception. And Lynn, did you have a good view of that?
I had a great view of it. One of the players on the bench just came onto the field and was yelling, probably berating one of the players from LSU on the field right in front of the official. And the flag just flew right out of his pocket.
Oh, then that's a good call if that's what happened down there. No question. I mean, you can't have that, right, Gary?
Bobby threw his headset down, and he must not have seen it as clear as Lynn, because right now he might be working for the next one. But with 53 seconds to go, this half is over.
So we're at the top of the hour. LSU and Oklahoma at the Nokia Sugar Bowl for the BCS National Championship. 7-point lead. LSU with some personnel problems, but now the 12th man clears the field in time. Here's Jones going nowhere. Stoned by Eric Alexander, the senior from Port Arthur, Texas. And coaches will tell you the most improved defensive player on their team is number 27.
One of the keys to this great defense was Alexander's move from safety, where he was a 4-year, actually a 3-year player trying to find the field. LSU fans know he was a terror on special teams, but you move an average safety up the linebacker, and he's a fast linebacker, and he's making plays all over the field.
How tough is it getting for OU's offense? Chris Chester coming off many injuries. Now checks in, and they're going to just run this clock out. They are content to go on into the locker room trailing by 7 points. Lavallee and the defense did a great job as we check in with Jack.
Well, Coach, outside of just a couple of miscues and that one block punt, how do you rate it so far?
Well, you know, special teams play a big part in games like this, and they made a big play on it. Defense has played pretty well. I really like the last drive we had offensively, so hopefully we can develop more consistency there.
Let's go to the OU side and Lynn Swan.
Thank you, Jack. Coach, this offense that you're running has a tough time with this #1 defense in the country. How do you squeeze a little more productivity out of it?
I mean, the #1 scoring defense in the country, they are. We're the #1 total defense in the country. And the bottom line is turnovers penalties have hurt us, taking away 2 turnovers. Penalties have put us into long yardage. On top of that, bad tackling on defense. Outside of that, we got a heck of a game.
Coach, thank you.
Not a happy camper. Bob Stoops, to say the least. John Saunders and the gang coming up here with LSU leading Oklahoma 14-7.
Comedy rules on an all-new ABC Tuesday with a coming-of-age story of one boy's most embarrassing moment.
How can this be normal? I can barely walk.
8 simple rules. Then, guess who pops up at Patrick's high school reunion?
You married yet? You know how hard it is to find the right girl.
It's Bachelor Bob on I'm With Her. And will Jim's plan to sell the house get him into hot water?
I better go get some paper towels.
According to Jim. Plus, the guys discover life in the VIP bathroom.
Give us a little time to get dressed, maybe?
No.
Less than perfect. It all starts at 8, 7 Central. All new ABC Tuesday.
A new year on ABC brings a new year of Sunday's best. First, this agent lost her memory in 2 years of her life. In 1 hour, it will all come back with a vengeance. An all-new alias. Then,
A police officer is dead.
if you think you can't be shocked
We have a client.
by a television drama,
The police are trying to beat a confession out of him.
think again.
They just tortured a man in front of us. This is our most important case.
An all-new practice after an all-new alias. Next Sunday starting 9, 8 Central on ABC.
The University of Oklahoma is setting a national standard for excellence. OU's at the top among public universities in National Merit Scholars enrolled and has tripled the number of endowed professorships. OU's $700 million in new construction includes one of the world's largest weather research centers and an expanded art museum to house the single most important gift of art ever given to a public university. And our student athletes have the highest graduation rate in the Big 12. The University of Oklahoma, a flagship for excellence.
Message sent. You make it clear I own this town.
And the FBI.
Why is Malloy always one step ahead of us?
Both sides have crossed the line.
Roy is working deep cover. It is our job to watch his back.
An all-new Line of Fire Tuesday at 10, 9 Central on ABC. Viewer discretion is advised.
The BMW X3 Halftime Show, brought to you by the all-new BMW X3 Sports Activity Vehicle. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Here now, John Saunders, Terry Bowden, and Craig James.
They say if you want to throw a party, come to the Big Easy. If you want to have a championship game, come to the Superdome, because the intensity here has been terrific. The Oklahoma fans seeming to be almost as loud as LSU as we take a look at the ADT National Championship Trophy. Winner will walk off with this. You talked about playing here in a Super Bowl, and that atmosphere is right there again.
Well, you know what? You can't even have a conversation between us. We're sitting here and we're trying to talk to each other on the side watching the ball game. You can't understand each other, so you just don't even talk. So you can imagine on the field. I believe the intensity and the indoor atmosphere has affected both offenses. But because LSU can run the football and OU's doing a terrible job at tackling Justin Vincent, it's making a difference.
Yeah, Justin Vincent's making a lot of those defensive award winners look pretty bad, but I was on the field talking with LSU offensive coordinator Jimbo Fisher. He said, you know what, their defense tries to bully you around. I'm going to run it right down their throats and smack them in the mouth, and they've run for almost 150 yards. LSU is dominating the defensive front the entire game.
Vincent, 10 carries for 118 yards. Now you wonder about White. Do you think he's still feeling the problems with the hand when he got smashed against Kansas State?
I think he's confused. I think LSU's defense has showed him a lot of different things. And look at LSU's offense with Skylar Green around the corner. And then the block punt was critical. It's the only shot OU's had this whole game.
Yeah, the problem is the running game's only gotten 16 yards. Every passing play is a yardage situation. He can't clip. But this Martin Mock,
I thought this opened up Oklahoma's defense. This was a scoring drive, a very smart misdirection play. And then look at him trying to tackle his shins. Terrible tackling. It's a great job of running by Justin Vincent. He's using his eyes. His shoes have eyeballs on them, and he's making them miss. He's a great runner.
Oklahoma looks like they're still in the funk from the Kansas State game. You're a coach. You go into the locker room. If you're Bob Stoops, how do you turn this around?
Well, I think you get right in their face and chew them out. What about your pride? This is the second week game in a row that the Oklahoma offense has not done a thing. You get in their mouth because it's going to take a big play to win.
Terry, as a player, though, I may disagree with that, because if you come out at me, it's already intense out here, and if you get in my face, I may even back up, get in the shell a little bit more. So I may want to go in there and just say, hey, fellas, relax. Let's go out and execute on offense.
Oklahoma's rush defense has been amongst the best in the country this year. but suddenly against this LSU team, take a look at the numbers. First 3 games under 4 yards a carry. Tonight against LSU, 7.5.
I haven't seen many championships games won when the team that couldn't run the football won it. And so therefore, I think right now, Oklahoma has to find a way. We knew they were struggling running the football coming in.
Yeah, and all the talk about Tommy Harris, Chad Lavallee looks like the best defensive lineman I've seen in college football for a long time.
And there's been little question about that. As for LSU, again, you talked about running the ball right down their throats. That's exactly what they have tried to do. When we come back, we'll have a look and a talk with a guy who used to like to run the ball down everybody's throat. His name was Barry Switzer, the head coach of Oklahoma for 3 national championships. It's all coming up on the BMW X3.
BMW X3, the ultimate driving machine.
It took a great game plan to bring our LSU Tigers to tonight's Sugar Bowl. But here's a look at LSU's other winning game plan. At LSU, our focus is on excellence in all that we do.
From the mind of Stephen King comes a story so personal, only he could tell it.
Inside this skull is the biggest, scariest haunted house of them all.
Welcome to Kingdom Hospital, where patients never die. For the first time ever, a weekly series from the master of horror.
Cool. Yes, it is. Goodbye.
Stephen King's Kingdom Hospital.
There are lots of vacancies.
Coming ABC Wednesday, March 3rd.
Welcome back to the BMW X3 halftime show. You cannot talk Oklahoma football without talking Barry Switzer. 157 wins, 3 national championships. John Saunders, Terry Bowden, Craig James, now joined by Barry Switzer. And first, I just want to know what your take is, not just on the first half of this game, but going back to the Kansas State game as well.
Well, it's 2 good defensive football teams, and defense always make offensive look ugly. Offensives look ugly when you play good defense like LSU's doing tonight.
And when you're Oklahoma's offense right now, there's a lot of pressure coming up front. How do you make the adjustment at halftime?
Well, first of all, the LSU is giving us great pressure, and you know, the kicking game was in the second quarter obviously something that gave them field position, and we didn't take advantage of it.